So we've reached a milestone with our 50th reason why I left church, religion, Christianity, and fundamentalism. The next reason is that the church supports the removal of queer and minority positive books. So for those who don't understand what book banning or book censorship is, it's basically something that's as old as civilization. Anytime there's a government, institution of influence, or a group of people, they want to control access to information and the ability to educate themselves. Many groups that did this were the Nazis, the fascists in Italy during World War II, basically every absolute ruler in world history. You read world history, basically almost every leader, king, chief, emperor in world history controlled, censored, or banned anything that went against their will. And when you look at religion, Muslim countries that have extreme Muslim law, anybody that doesn't dress, adhere, or obey can be killed, fined, arrested, or lose a part of their body. Christianity has a dark history of removing anything that impacts the interpretation of somebody's religious text. People like William Tyndale, John Knox, they were basically killed for making books available and distributing books that impacted Catholicism. John Calvin and many of the extreme denominations of Christianity that were started by specific people faced death threats due to making books available. The 95 Theses. The author had to hide for the rest of his life because he made the Bible available to the public. What about modern times in countries that are under totalitarian or fascist leaders like North Korea? They control people by censoring and removing access to information. America has a sordid history of censorship, erasing, control, banning, anything that doesn't prove and doesn't support white supremacy, colonialism, sexism, and queerphobia, and racism. So let's talk about some modern groups, especially in America or perhaps abroad, that supports the removal of books from schools, libraries, public areas. These groups often cite religious or moral objections to contend that they deem appropriate for children or not aligned with their values. Moms for Liberty, a conservative organization, frequently cited in reports on book burning efforts, which advocates for increased parental control over education, including curriculum and library selections. While not exclusively religious, many members and chapters have expressed religiously motivated concerns about LGBTQ+ content. Another one, Parents' Rights in Education. This organization aligns with a broader parental rights movement has been involved in advocating for book removals based on concerns about sexual content and LGBTQ+ themes in school materials. Another one, Citizens Defending Freedom. This group also participates in challenges to school materials, often alongside other conservative organizations focusing on content they deem inappropriate or problematic due to ideologies. Why is it important to note about these groups? There's an intersection of concerns. While religious beliefs often play a role in advocating for book removals, these groups may also express concerns related to parental rights, age of appropriateness, and exposure to certain ideologies. Specific religious views. While some groups are broadly conservative, specific religious communities, like some Christian denominations and Muslim families, have also voiced objections to LGBTQ+ books in schools based on their religious beliefs. Legal challenges. The debate over LGBTQ+ books in schools has also involved legal challenges with parents and organizations suing to remove or restrict access to certain books in schools. So how do these groups, function? How do they protest, or how do they get involved in these situations? Some organize protests and rallies at school board meetings. Others, they campaign for election of school board members who align with their views. Sometimes they submit formal challenges or requests for book removals to school districts and libraries. Organizations like the American Library Association, PEN America, and National Coalition Against Censorship track and oppose such efforts, advocating for intellectual freedom and the ability of diverse resources in school. Now, if you went to public school, I have never been to a public or private school, so I can't really comment, but I have talked with a lot of people who went to private and public school. Banning is such a prevalent thing. It's everywhere. And it's not just about books. It can be about dress codes. It can be about what can be spoken in school. It's all about censorship to create it basically impacts an environment that could be inclusive by drawing back the inclusivity into a sterile, heterosexual default expectation. Anything that doesn't fit a rigid set of immobile expectations, those are the things that are banned. So what books have been banned in 2025? Thousands have been removed from public schools across the country. PEN America has documented nearly 16,000 book bans in public schools nationwide since 2021, a number not seen since the Red Scare McCarthy era of the 1950s. Now that's ironic because Senator McCarthy's right-hand man, Roy Cohn, was Donald Trump's mentor in the 70s and 80s. So the man who created the Red and the Lavender Scare of McCarthyism instructed Trump on how to be the way he is. This censorship is being mobilized by conservative groups and has spread to nearly every state. These target books about race, racism, individuals of color, LGBTQ, non-heterosexual themed books, as well as those for older readers that have sexual references, language, violence, nudity, or discuss sexual or any negative form of violence. In the past 2 years, PEN America has found more than 10,000 book bans affecting more than 4,000 unique book titles. 45% of the bans occur in Florida, 36% in Iowa. So 82% are in 2 states. Another 18% has spread to all other states. The PEN America Index of school book bans include best-selling novelists, books such as 19 Minutes, Moments Leading Up to a School Shooting, John Green's Looking for Alaska, The Handmaid's Tale, The Kite Runner. I've only read 2 of those. I definitely need to start reading more banned books. I actually prefer banned movies more than banned books.